welcome to the international visiting lecture today with Dr. Gangadharan as a professor of Master Business Administration. And for the topic today is Servqual in the digital age. And for today's session is being live streamed on the Universitas STEKOM YouTube channel. And now I will read our agenda this afternoon. First, we will start class presentation delivered by Dr. Gangadharan and continue with the Q&A session. In the next session, we have time for the competition unless time is closing. Let's begin. We will start class presentation delivered by Dr. Gangadharan. The time is yours. Thank you.
Shall I start, madam? Shall I start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you. So I'll introduce myself. I'm Gangadharan. Okay, so your pronunciation was totally different. So I'm repeating my name. I'm Gangadharan, Dr. S. Gangadharan, working at St. Joseph College of Engineering as an associate professor in the Department of MBA. Okay, this is my short introduction, and I'm having nearly of 27 years of experience in teaching, handling for PG, 2 years of industry experience in advertising. This is my small introduction about myself. I'll go to the topic. So my area of topic, very interesting topic, is actually services sector. In the services sector, so we'll be talking about one specific topic about called services marketing. Under that, okay. So that is what our presentation is. Today's topic. 1 minute, I'll share my slides. It's visible, madam. Whether screen is visible for you.
Actually, no, sure. Oh, yeah, already.
Yes, okay. So I think screen is visible. My presentation screen is visible.
Yes, visible, sure, but your voice actually is not clearly. I think you can plug off your headset if you using.
Okay, madam.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And today's session, I'll be
வந்துருச்சு.
அது ஓப்பன் ஆயிடுச்சுங்களா?
மொபைல்ல போகுது.
சார் ரெஃப்ரெஷ் பண்ணி பார்ப்போம்.
Satish sir.
Is audible, sir.
Okay, sir. Can you open the presentation if possible? Or else
Yes.
I'll try one more time. 1 minute, sir. I'll share my screen. 1 minute. Sir, it is visible for you. The screen is visible for you. Satish.
Yes, sir. Sharing, sir. You can start, sir. Screen is clearly visible, sir. You can start the presentation.
Yes, sir. 1 minute, sir. Connecting. Okay, sir. Now I think the screen is visible for you, correct, sir? So the
Sir, you can start, sir.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The first session will be we will be talking about these particular 6 concepts. So the today's session will be of 2 sessions. First session will be talking about the concepts of service quality and constructs of understanding what is actually the service quality is, technical and functional quality, service profit chain, customer satisfaction and service quality, costs of service quality, research, service quality. These are all the topics we'll be talking about in session 1. So, what is actually we'll be talking about is first is okay. So we'll be talking about what is actually service quality is. So it is, we'll be talking about it is actually conforming to
Pardon,
requirements.
teacher.
Yes, madam?
Yeah. Can you share your PowerPoint again, your presentation file?
Madam, I'm sharing only. 1 minute, 1 minute,
Oh,
1 minute. I'm sharing only, madam. It's in sharing mode only. Now it's okay, madam?
yes, sure.
Yes, madam. Okay. So conforming to what is actually service quality is, it is conforming to the requirements of the customer. Where we'll be talking about what is actually the customer requirement is. And one more term we'll be talking about here is fitness for use customers and perceived quality. The quality can only be defined by the customers, and it will occur where an organization supplies goods or services to a specification that satisfy their needs. So this is actually very important in the perceived quality while a customer is looking for any products. And so when we are going for so where we'll be talking about in the talking about mostly in perceived quality and the constructs of understanding services quality. So where uh, 5 dimensions we'll be talking about in understanding the services quality. First one is tangibles. Second one is reliability. Third one is responsiveness, assurance, and empathy. These 5 dimensions are very important for service quality. And what really the consumer factors are really considered is word of mouth, then personal needs, the past experience, and external communication. So these are all the consumer factors, even though dimensions are very vital for this. Consumer factors plays a very critical role in service quality, and quality perception is 3 things normally what customer is expecting. First one is I already told the expected service, then perceived service, then perceived service quality. These are all the things you will be looking for dimensions of service quality and why how the consumer is evaluating the service attributed is nearly 7 attributes are there. They are security, consistency, attitude, completeness, conditions, availability, and timing. These are all the consumer evaluation for service attributes. So with this, what are the service dimensions? So everything we can link into the service attributes and technical and functional quality. So in technical and functional quality, they'll be talking about the measurable objectives. That is example, time, how much time we spend for waiting for any delivering the products or waiting in the queue. Everything will be talking in technical quality. And functional quality is how the fairness in handling a queue. So, if, for example, you're waiting in a queue for getting your product or billing your product, so how the treatment is there while you're waiting in the queue, or if it is an online product, no? So if you're waiting for 1 week, so in that 1 week, what is it? How much company is offering a service? So they'll be talking about says fairness means so within how many days you will be getting in your hand and where the product is located. Everything will be talking about in functional quality. So this is actually uh, we'll be talking about in the coming slides about 5 gaps in service quality. So before that, some small picture I'm giving here about this outline I'm giving, but this detailedly I'll be telling about in the coming slides. Okay. For at the present, I'll be proceeding to the next one. So this is actually the service profit chain. So in the service profit chain, so that it will be giving lots of improvements in service quality throughout value chain, that is leading to higher profitability. And this also it is not really true. So we'll be talking about always better to talk always about quality only. That is what this small picture is showing the right hand side of the slide. So talking about the internal service quality, that is the working environment or working place, then how far the employee is satisfied in their work, then employee productivity, and talking about this is mostly important while giving proper service, employee retention also is there. Then external service values, customer satisfactions, customer loyalty. So with this technical terms only we can talk about the revenue growth. And the revenue growth is there, we'll be also having improved profitability. And this is actually what we were talking in that previous slide with the help of small one. No? Here in this slide, we'll be talking about which in a detailed manner. So the revenue growth, and finally we'll be talking about improved profitability. And actually, this one will be talking about the customer satisfaction and service quality. So we'll be talking here about it encourages repeat patronage and loyalty, and always promoting the positive word of mouth. So please, uh, you can understand the words which are used here, positive word of mouth. Then it lowers the spends for attracting new customers. So if you are giving very good service quality, no, so you no need to spend for attracting new customers. So if you are satisfying the customers with very good quality service quality, please, I'm again talking about service quality. I'm not only talking about the product quality alone. Service quality also is very, very important nowadays, and it reduces the failure costs. So the failure costs will be reduced, and it will be creating a sustainable advantage. Then you can talk about customers, insulates customers from competitions. So this is actually very important slide, one of the important slide on this particular topic. So this one is the costs, which we talked in the first session, what we are going to talk now. Costs of service quality. So three costs we can talk. One is failure costs, then detection costs, then prevention costs. So in the failure costs, we'll be talking about external failures and internal failures. In the external failure, we'll be talking about customer complaints, warranty charges, liability insurance, legal judgments, and loss of repeat service. So in the internal failure, we'll be talking about scraps, rework, and one more thing is there in failure costs is recovery, expedite, expedite, and labor and law and labor and materials. So on detection costs, no. So in failure costs, if you are doing these things, so the charges will be more for you. But detection costs, no. So that will be where we'll be talking about process control. Then we'll be talking about peer review, supervision, consumer comment, and inspection. Consumer comment card and inspection. So these are all detection costs. We can, while doing the process itself, we can do what are all the failures will be occurring. So and the prevention costs. So if you're having this, no, the service quality will be very, very good. So what we are talking in prevention costs is quality planning, then training programs for the employees, then quality audits every 3 months once for quality audits, then data acquisition and analysis, preventive maintenance, supplier evaluation. So why I'm talking about supplier evaluation? Because so when you're going to give very good product quality or service quality to the customers means So you should be very much aware of picking your suppliers also. So if you're not picking the suppliers in a very good manner, so the end quality will be affected. So that is why we are talking about supplier evaluation. Then final thing is recruitment and selection of the employees, where they'll be talking about giving more training about, say for example, they'll be giving training morely about talking about patients, how to handle customers every time with smile. So everything we'll be talking about in training programs, in recruitment and selection programs and training programs. These are all the things. So many companies know they do research for service qualities. So what are the service qualities they are talking is about every time it should be varied and it should be ongoing every time. So how it is going to be taken to the customers is mainly by undertaken with the help of employees. And every time, whatever the results you're getting, no, it will be shared with the employees. So these are all the things you should do. Many successful organizations, if they are giving a very good service, these four concepts, every time 95% every research is carried out only in these four topics. Varied, then the services should be always varied, then it should be ongoing. It should not be stopped in between. Every time it is continuous process. So undertaken with the employees, and the results must be shared with the employees. And so, what are all the methods of researching service quality? No? The first thing is we'll be talking about the customer surveys. It should be regular. Then there should be customer panels. So transaction analysis. So every time the transaction analysis, it should be done, because whenever any changes is being carried out, no, the transaction analysis must be done. Without that, you cannot proceed for any other growths in the services sector. And perception surveys also should be carried out. So because in the perception surveys, we can learn many things. For that only we are keeping perception surveys. So every time we should also talk about mystery customers. So mystery customers is where they'll be talking about every time only the problems and the complaints. So we should understand, or we should do research in this area, mystery customers, then analysis of complaints. So in which area the complaints are more, that you should identify. Then employee and intermediary studies. So this is actually the last point can be done with the internal of the company itself, where you can talk about how the employees are behaving and their intermediary studies. Intermediary studies means only about employee behaviors and how they are interacting with the customers. So these are all the areas of research in service qualities. And every time you should keep a benchmark for the continuous process. Sorry. So the five-stage continuous process, no? Every time you should plan for the study from the benchmarking team and identify potential benchmarking partners, collect and analyze the information, adopt and improve. So these five steps, no, it should be continuous every time. So benchmarking patterns. So which organization you're taking as a benchmark, or you should identify if you are keeping in your mind the company's development should be in this manner. So that benchmarking. So from the benchmarking team also you should create. And you should identify the benchmarking partners, then collect and analyze the informations needed for the growth, then whether we can adopt and improve in our concern. These are all the areas you should go for benchmarking. Then that is about session one. And this session two, no. So we'll be talking about methodology of Servqual and criticisms. of the serve quality. Then integrated gaps. There are 5 gaps actually. So that is determined by a famous person named called Parasuram. So he has Parasuraman's determinants of service quality is talking about you should always fix about quality standards, then implementing service quality. These two areas he keeps on talking. Parasuraman policy in determinants of service quality is he'll be talking every time about setting quality standards, then implementing service quality. So this one is very, very important given by Mr. Parasuram. Okay. So without that name of Parasuram, we cannot complete service quality and also services marketing area. So mainly he has given in service quality, Mr. Parasuram, and Servqual methodology. So service quality, perception is my perception is expectation. Service quality is defined as the difference between the standard of service, what the customers is expecting, and what they actually receive. So this is what the Servqual methodology, where difference between the standard of service, what the customers are expecting, and what they actually receive in their hand. That is what service quality is, perception and expectations. So this one is every time we'll be talking about because customer will be fixing something in his mind, but while getting in his hand, no, everything will be totally different. So this is what actually perceptions and expectations is, and criticisms of service serve qual. So every time it is unrealistic to measure expectation retrospectively. So because it is not a product, so when you're talking about service quality, so every time you cannot talk about in a realistic manner. So it is everything is unrealistic. So so to measure that unrealistic matter, it is very, very difficult. So then it is mostly greasy spoon cafe may achieve a higher quality rating than a government restaurant. So because so why I'm talking about here cafe means the services given we cannot measure, but when you're going for any different type of restaurant, no, you can easily measure it. So that is what here when you're going for a very high-fi restaurants and normal hotels, no. So there is a very big difference. And perception scores, that is actually the main thing. It is more reliable indicator of quality, perception scores, because with the perceptions only many customers talk about how the product is. So perception that must be created by the uh, companies or the service organizations. An alternate methodology of the serve curve. It is based on only the perception scores that has been suggested. Okay, service preferences. That is actually it is based on only perception scores that has been suggested by the research organizations. These are all the gaps I was telling you. So 5 gaps. The Servqual has identified 5 gaps where service quality will be failing. So first one is no gap one. These are all the things we'll be talking about in a separate chart itself. Just this 1 or 2 slides will be talking about theoretical things, and in the coming slide we'll be talking about where it will be represented as a charts. So first gap, that is what is the first gap is talking about is the difference between consumer expectations and management perception. So this is what actually the main problem starts. Consumer will be expecting a different concept, and management will be thinking from a different concept. So this is what actually the major problem starts is. So consumer, no, he'll be thinking that while getting in his hand the service, he'll be thinking that he'll be getting free offers like that and all. But management will be putting somewhere in his asterisk or a star mark. So they'll be defining from their point of view. That is the gap 1. And gap 2 is talking about management perceptions and service quality specification. So here, management perception will be talking it will be talking from one different point of view, and service quality specification will be talking in another different point of view. So this is what we'll be talking in gap 2. And gap 3 will be talking about the service quality specifications and service delivery. So, okay. So please understand what is service quality specifications and service delivery. So it's a very, you might be thinking the words might be similar, but no. While we are purchasing either through offline or online, you will be facing some difficulties in this particular gap. And fourth gap, we'll be talking about service delivery and external communications. So service delivery means how the product is being delivered through some other organizations. So mostly we'll be talking in online. And fifth gap, we'll be talking about perceived service and expected service. What you perceived in your mind, you will be thinking the service will be of different, and what you will be getting, it will be totally different. So this is actually a major problem in service deliveries, service qualities. No, these are all the 5 major gaps. So this is what I was telling in the charts. No, so gap 1 will be talking about expected service. So you can see the blue line which is there. Gap 1, expected service and management perceptions of consumer expectations. And gap 2 is last 2 triangles, translation of perceptions to service quality specifications. So gap 3 is actually talking about service delivery. That is the third gap, and external communications to the customers is the fourth gap, and fifth gap is expected service and what is the perceived service. So this is the charts which I was telling, and this will be explained in a very detailed manner. So key factors. So what are all the key factors? No? Customer expectations and customer perceptions for provider gap 1, gap 2, gap 3, and gap 4. No? So just an examples we'll be talking here is what actually what without what not knowing what customers is expecting. That is the provider gap 1. And gap 2, no, here provider gap 2 will be talking about they are not selecting the right service designs and standards. And gap 3, no, so they're not delivering to service standards. And gap 4, that is provider gap 4, not matching the performance to promises. So this is actually customer expectations and customer perceptions. These 4 gaps, if you're evaluating, these gaps can be reduced in between the customer expectations and customer perceptions. This is the major problem. And the other one leading to customer gap is customer expectations and again customer perceptions. So what is here talking about is they're not knowing what really the customers is expecting in provider gap 1. In gap 2, no, they're not okay. They're not selecting the right service and designs and not delivering service standards, not matching the performance to promises. Okay, sorry, this is actually for gap 1. So what really the key factors leading to gap 1, no? Customer expectations and company perceptions of customer expectations. So first thing, no, inadequate market research orientations. This is the major problem. Without doing any market research, even product will be a failure. Then you can think about service. So in services, no, people talk about many things. So you should do lots of research in services sector. So insufficient market research and it is not focused on service quality, and a lack of upward communication. So you should always upward communication must be accepted in services sector because they only interact with the customers directly. So if you're not taking upward communication, no, and if it is only downward communication, there will be lots of failures services in service quality. Then insufficient relationship focus. That is what you will be. There will be lack of market segmentation. Then you will be focused on transactions rather than relationships. You should not only focus on what is it transactions. You should focus mainly on relationships. Then focus on new customers rather than a relationship with customers. So these are all the things you should not do. Then inadequate service required. So these are all companies' perceptions of customer expectations. Okay. And for gap 2, no, gap 2, customer driven service standards, design and standards, and management perception of customer expectations. So in the previous slides itself, we have talked about poor service design, then absence of customer driven standards, then inappropriate physical evidence and service scapes. So unsystematic, that is in poor service design, no, it will be unsystematic, new service development process, and it will be always vague. So undefined service designs, failure to connect service design to service positioning. So this is the failure for service design. Okay, then absence of customer-driven standards. So lack of so just we are talking about here in this gap two is giving more concentration to the customers while designing the service or the products. That is what we are talking here. So inappropriate physical evidence and service scapes. Then gap three will be talking about customer driven service designs and service delivery. So how when you're talking about driven service designs and standards and service delivery, so 4 points we'll be talking here: deficiency in human resource policies, failure to the match, failure to match supply and demand, then customers not fulfilling the roles, then problems with service intermediaries. These are all the things you'll be facing in gap three. So that is what in human resource policies, no. First, say for example, I'll tell you 2 points: ineffective recruitment. So if the recruitment is not proper, no, so you cannot expect the person who is being wrongly recruited, he will be giving proper service to the customers. Then poor employee technology job fit. So all the employees should be aware of the technologies which is happening in that sector. Then only he can talk to the customers. And lack of empowerment, perceived control, and teamwork. So with these things, we'll be talking about human resource policies. Then failure to match supply and demand. So where you should talk about smooth peaks and valley of demand, then inappropriate customer mix. So this is the main like over reliance on price to smooth demand. So you should not do these things. So sorry, if you're not doing things properly, no, you cannot match the supply and demand, and you should give weightage to the customers in this sector. That is what this point, third point is talking. Customers not fulfilling the roles. And the problem with service intermediaries, always there will be a channel conflict over the objectives and performance, then channel conflict over costs and rewards, and difficulty in controlling quality and consistency, tension between empowerment and control. Say, for example, when you are there is a tie-up between the product company and the service company. So if there is no proper understanding, these problems and all will be occurring. That is what this point is talking about. gap for lack of
Hello, sir. Yeah, your voice is not clearly.
ineffective management of customer expectations, inadequate horizontal Hello? Anybody?
Yeah, hello, sir.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. There
Yeah.
was a network issue. Screen is visible, madam?
Still
Yes.
loading.
Yes, madam. Now it is visible. Okay, gap 4. So we'll be talking here about the service delivery and external communication to the customers, where lack of integrated services, marketing communication, ineffective management of customer expectations, and over promising, then inadequate horizontal communications. These are all the 4 points we'll be talking about in the service gap 4. Service gap 4 is about service delivery and external communications to the customers. Okay, so and service gap 5 is talking about the services sector. The services sector, uh, 1 minute. Services sector, where the services sector is the services sector is not moving. 1 minute. Yes, 1 minute. The services sector we'll be talking about in this gap 4 is the service delivery and external communications to the customers. So where a lack of integrated over promising, this is what we're talking about in gap 4, and inadequate horizontal communications, insufficient communication between sales and operations, then again insufficient communication between advertising and operations, and differences in policies and procedures across branches or different units. So this is actually the determinants of service quality. That is, service award will be given in related to access, communication, and competence, courtesy, reliability, and credibility. These are all the 6 points, the determinants of service quality, where the service awards will be given. And uh, the determinants of service quality, which has been given by the famous author Parasuram, the 10 such qualities which may influence the consumer's evaluation of services. So, every time we'll be talking about Parasuram in service quality, and here talking about consistency. So, the word itself you can understand every time it should not be stopped within one particular day or one particular month or one particular week or year. So, it should be consistency, the reliability of performance and dependability. And the firm performs the service right the first time. And also it means honors its promises, specifically in terms of accuracy in billing, record keeping, performing the services at designated time, and everything will be starting with only C, concern, the willingness or response of the employees to provide proper service to the customers, and it involves major thing is timeliness of service, or giving the prompt service at right time, setting up appointments quickly, calling the customer back quickly, and mailing a transaction slip immediately. Then competence, it will be having the high required skills and knowledge to perform the service. Then it involves knowledge and skill of the contact person, the knowledge and skill of the operational support personnel, and research capability of the organization. So here we are given an example of a brokerage firm for the any securities companies, then contacts. So contacts, it should be maintained mainly for services sector. Here they have given only one particular services sector, that is bank, the convenient hours. So for banking sectors, the waiting time to receive the service line should not be busy every time, and customers should not be put on hold every time. So our next one will be talking about courtesy. So it involves major thing is politeness, respect, consideration, and friendliness of contact personnel, including receptionists, telephone operators, whoever it is, and consideration for the consumer's property, clean and neat appearance of public contact personnel. Then communication. So it involves explaining the service, the language which they can understand, listen to them, and how much the service will cost. Everything it should be mentioned clearly. Then trade-offs between service and cost, assuring that a problem will be handled. Then credibility. So trustworthiness. So the trustworthiness, no. So where you can talk about trustworthiness is talking about it involves trustworthiness, believability, then honesty. So where you can talk about many things here, it involves having the customer's best interests at heart, contributing to credibility and the company name and the reputation. So everything it should be the credibility should be maintained for many years and confidentiality about the security and freedom for from doubt involving the physical safety, then financial security or confidentiality, everything it should be maintained properly by the companies and customer knowledge. They were making the effort to understand the customer needs, then learning the customer specific requirements, and providing individualized attention and recognizing the regular customer, then tangibles. So that it will be including the physical standards, physical evidence of the service, and physical facilities, appearance of personnel, tools or equipment used to provide the service, physical representation of the service, such as plastic credit card or a bank statement, and other customers in the service quality. So this is what the model given by Parasuram model, pyramid model, company, triangle model actually, pyramid model. So where we'll be talking about all the things, company, how the technology supports for the employees and also the customers. This is what an augment marketing business model developed by Parasuram. And setting quality standards, we're talking about standard communications to customers and employees, what level of quality is expected, and standards can be specified in terms of the basic booking conditions, customer charters, specific service guarantees, industry association standards, and every time we should talk about ISO. ISOs depending upon the sectors which you are. So I have put here in service sector 9000 series. So if it is of environment, it will be totally ISO series. We should always have a talk in while you are talking about quality standards. When you're setting quality standards, so these are all the things you should be talking about. Then implementing, how you're going to implement. So these things actually where how you're going to implement is with the help of TQM, quality circles, these things and all we should talk every time. Development of quality culture, need to assess return on quality improvements, everything we should talk. So with this, actually, this particular topic is slide is over, and while we are just 2 minutes, madam, can you take 2 minutes? One more slide I want to talk here is actually this, this one. This particular PowerPoint. So this topic I was planning to talk about with AI. 1 minute. So, service unlocking customer loyalty, the power of Servqual. With the help of AI, nowadays, everywhere, wherever we are going about this AI models. So, even in service quality, we'll be talking about that is actually, again, in the previous slides, we're talking about it is a diagnostic tool based for the gap analysis model. So, key dimensions is the Likert scale, where we'll be talking about it research, a Likert scaling techniques, and this one is 5 points where we'll be talking every time is tangibles, reliability, then responsiveness, assurance, empathy. These 5 dimensions we'll be talking about every time in service quality. And same thing in AI also we'll be talking about in empathy related to individualized attention given to customers, personalized recommendations, everything we can talk about here in these things. And implementing this thing in service quality, measuring the gap. No? So every time here, instead of employees, we'll be talking about the administrators. So 500 plus studies have been done for specific quality gaps. No? Have been across the different industries since its inception. Many companies have done more than 500 studies, and the benefits of impact of service quality score is actually here we're talking about no stars, second hands, everything. So customer satisfaction, companies with high service quality scores report 15% of higher satisfaction rates. And in operational efficiency, pinpointing weak areas that leads to targeted resource allocation and better efficiency. And then customer loyalty, no, a 5% increase in retention will boost point from 25% to 95%. So this is a very big thing in customer loyalty. And brand reputation is always from the mostly from the positive word of mouth. 72% online reviews as much as personal recommendations. So conclusion, no, here every time is we'll be having timeless framework, then continuous adaptation, then prioritize quality, then what is the challenge? Every time, no, every nowadays in the services sector or in marketing. So the major challenge we cannot talk about previously and all. We'll be talking month, week and all. But nowadays we are talking about every day, every 1 hour or 2 hours, the challenges we are facing, the companies, we means the companies are facing to improve the uh, services or the product quality. Every time we are facing the challenges, and with the help of service qualities only, we can improve we can improve the revenue for the industries. So this is the main thing. Certainly, I have taken this topic for today's presentation, service quality. Okay, with this, I conclude my session for today's.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Joe. And for our participant, if you have any question for the speaker, please add them to the chat. You can raise your hand. Yeah, we have some question from participant already read in the Zoom chat. And this is
Uh,
visible from your sector.
yes, madam. Yes, madam. It is visible. And actually, for online services, nowadays there are many research organizations. They do a lot. Only for offline, we cannot do nowadays. I think Mr. Abdullah can understand. Where in online only we can have, because, say for example, one of my friend is having he's in catering industry. To promote his catering industry, he collects lots of details through online. And why he's collecting through online and why? Because to promote nowadays you are getting some 3 star or 4 star ratings, no? So that is fully based on only on online. Without that offline, previously and all, we were talking about with the help of questionnaires, but nowadays through online we are posting many questionnaires. Even yesterday night, I have filled more than 3 questionnaires, which has been sent by at least one research organization per day. I'm getting for this particular industries and all. Yes, madam.
Oh, already answer?
Yes, madam.
Oh yeah, I guess no one else asking again, sure. Thank
No
you so much
problem.
for your answer. Yeah. Before I close this event, for all participants, please open your camera. I will take a picture on the count of three. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, another one. 1, 2, 3. Thank you for your keen cooperation. Finally, we
Thank you,
come to
madam.
the
Thank you.
visiting lecture today. We would like to thank you for Dr. Gangadharan for the wonderful information and sharing your knowledge. We hope this information will be beneficial for all participants. At least we have more collaboration in the future with ST Joseph College Engineering India. The visiting lecture for today and here. We have to see you soon. Thank you and have a nice day. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I thank uh, the STEKOM universities for giving the opportunity to me, and I thank my management, Bhaskar sir, and my HOD Satish and Mr. Aravind for giving this opportunity. Thank you.